It's Claudia from Chicken Star Rocket, and today we're playing The Space in Between. Goodness, this is gorgeous. Alright, let's go to settings real quick, and I like dialogue speed to be fast, I guess. I don't know. Credits, who made this game? Oh, you could get, Alright, well, it's made by these people. Special thanks to all of these guys, Discord, Ko-Fi, and Twitter, and everyone who made this game. That's really cute. I'm always really curious about who makes games, because, you know, I like making games too, and it's fun. Anyway, let's start this game. So, the only thing I know about this game is that it has, like, a star motif, like a constellation motif that we have going on here. And June, what is the answer to problem 14? You have absolutely no idea what the professor is talking about. You had spent the previous night watching anime instead of doing your homework. What a mood. All of a sudden, you feel a kick from the side of your desk. It's 47, a voice whispers. It's 47. A voice whispers from your right. You see Miles. After class, you approach him. Thanks for that, you say. Glancing at his backpack, you see a favorite familiar pin from your favorite band. You listen to Fleet Foxes? Your first date with him is... Well, if you bonded over a band, the one that would make the most sense is a concert, but personally, I like dates where you actually get to know the person and not like a movie or a concert or something, because at a concert you wouldn't be able to hear anything. So, I'm going to say it's at the park. A week later, you two sit at the beach pier, listening to street performers as the sky turns from soft pink to black. Will you be my girlfriend? Sure! Why not? You two bond over your shared taste in obscure video games. He likes Night in the Woods, The Beginner's Guide, Florence. The only question I have now is when is the wedding? Wow, I chose so good. I love Night in the Woods. It's really good. It's really good. Maybe one of these days I'll play it for the channel. Let me know down in the comments below if you want to see me play that. It's really fun. As the weeks go on, you discover that he is endearingly awkward, sincere, and nurturing. You like how easily your conversations flow, a constant stream of stories, surprising vulnerability, and recommendation sharing. He may not have been your first best friend, but he is the most special one. See, we like that. Because here's this guy who notices the way you can't help yourself when you get excited, who holds you when you need it the most. You didn't realize that there was still romance in the world left for you, but here it is, big and glowing and full. You decide to celebrate by having a solo dance party in your room or baking every baked good you could possibly think of. Can I do both? I'd probably do both, but I'd probably have the dance party. The playlist, all the throwback songs, the perfect choice for pretending you're the star in a music video. Your friends don't even need to ask why you're smiling so much. He takes you to the lookout spot next to his suburban house, and you slow dance to Hannah Hunt by Vampire Weekend or Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves. I've never heard of Vampire Weekend. I at least know who Casey Musgraves is, so I'm gonna go with her. Baby, I don't know this song. Baby, don't you know that you're my golden hour, the color of my sky. You've set my world on fire, and I know everything's gonna be alright. And suddenly, you understand why heartbreak and sorrow must happen, to have this joy shine so brightly. You see the neighborhood lights reflect in his eyes, and you dare to take his hand. You are now 5 months into your relationship. Awesome. I can't believe you're driving us 2 hours just to go stargazing. I officially won the boyfriend lottery. He's gonna propose, isn't he? Or break up. Plus, it'll be nice with just us two. My sense of direction is kind of questionable, and there's no signal, so we didn't know if that's a good thing. We did pick a good long drive playlist. Okay, so when you highlight an option, it makes me think I'm choosing that option, but it's actually the black. We did pick a good long drive. The lookout spot will be pretty. It's also in the middle of the woods. If a bear tries to eat us, you're fighting it and I'm running for help. Yeah. I would do the same thing, Jim. Glad to know you're committed to our safety. I am very committed. I'm the one devising the plan in case a bear mauls us. I bet I'm faster than you. I got it. I distract the bear by seducing it, and you can run into the bear and knock it over. Then we both run away. The power of fear will motivate me to run faster. No, I'd definitely make a joke about it. I don't think the bear will be easily seduced. Well, I don't know if you've heard of some of the dating sims they got nowadays, Miles, but I'm pretty sure one of them has a bear that you could seduce. What? You're saying I'm not pretty enough for the bear? You're telling me your own girlfriend that she's uglier than a bear? That's not what he was saying, but okay. That's not what I said. Yes, but that was what you meant. I tell you you're pretty all the time. Oh, I didn't know. What? You have a thing for bears. You want to break up with me, but you don't know how to break the news, so you're just gonna let me die instead. Okay, I'm gonna go with bears because that's comedic. No, I do not. That's why you think the bear won't like me, because you yourself want the bear. You're crazy. We should call this the bear dating simulator instead. What was I just saying? That was my idea. That is not going to happen. I'm so glad that you're comfortable enough to share this with me. It's not true though. The first step to getting help for your bear problem is admitting you have one. Fine. If the bear comes, I'll attack and you run. I'm glad we could agree on the plan. I too am thrilled. I'm leaning towards a breakup. I don't think I've been here since I was a little kid. I didn't realize how beautiful it is here. I'm so used to the city. Yeah, there's no one here. We're gonna get murdered. Let's set up the blanket and lie down. Do you know any constellations? No, I wish I did. I always thought they were boring, so I made my own. What do you mean? I would create random shapes from the stars and then come up with my own backstory, either a random one I thought of or something from my life. That's so wholesome. My mom said I was an imaginative kid. We could do that now. Okay, so there's a section in Nine in the Woods where you're laying down with Angus, who is a bear character and you're a cat character, and you draw the constellations and do this. And I wonder if they mentioned Nine in the Woods because it's like an inspiration for this game, but I'm not really sure. That's okay. It was a stupid idea. No, I want to. Here, let me start. You are now stargazing with Miles. To form a constellation, click and drag between pairs of stars until all of the edges of the constellation are visible. To find more constellations, move the mouse to the edge of the screen to scroll across the night sky. Completing constellations will unlock more constellations. Have fun! This looks like a backwards S. Dude, no, okay. Oh, S, O, S, please, someone help me. I don't know what I'm doing. I see a record. Why a record? I always had this dream to hang up record sleeves on the wall. Before I went through life trauma, I thought life's problems could be solved through listening to a good song. June, music theory exists. Therapy exists. I wish I could be that naive. Now it just represents a person I can never be again. Okay. Oh, I didn't get to read that. I don't think so. That part of you, the one that gets excited over everything, is the reason I wanted you to be my girlfriend. You're the one who constantly tells me to appreciate the beauty of the universe. Yeah, but I'm also the person where it's like one small thing goes wrong and I'm cursing the universe. I never told you this, but the first time we talked over our video chat, before we even started dating, my sisters already knew that I liked you. Did you tell them? No, they could hear it in my voice. What could possibly be different about your voice? I sounded happy. You need to stop being so cute or I'm going to start appreciating the beauty of the universe again. I don't think you realize how much joy you have for being alive. That's because life doesn't always feel so simple, or do you think I'm too cheesy? Do you think I'm too cheesy? No, I think we need cheesy in the world. I spent so long being depressed, I need someone to tell me they believe in the magic of the universe. I am not that person for you. You aren't most of the time, but every time I need it, you shake me and tell me I need to be here, so I don't miss all of my future happy memories. You remember that time we went to karaoke? Are you talking about New Year's Eve? Yeah, didn't life feel simple then, despite everything that was happening in our lives? Then I was one of the last moments I thought everything was going to be okay. When we were counting down to the new year, I really thought I was going to put my past behind. I thought there's no way this year would be as bad, but here we are. I'm not one to believe in miracles, but I want to. For you. I don't need a miracle, I just want a break. I was talking to my therapist about your situation. She told me that you have to acknowledge that the worldview is influenced by your mom. Sometimes the negative self-talk isn't you, it's you mirroring your mom. So, I watched Encanto recently, and this was something that Bruno did. He would parrot things that people said about him, and I thought that was really sad. It's interesting that they bring it up again here. And if this is your relationship with your family, I'm sorry. Anyway, your therapist is onto something. She usually is. I'm gonna scroll up. Oh, so the record, this is just an S. Oh, I see the pond at Boston Commons. I've never been there before. It's a super pretty park that's right next to downtown. I used to go there a lot when I lived there. I wish there was a spot just like that where I live. It was just a playground, which no one really wanted to hang out at. Although, fun fact, I had my first kiss at the playground. What was so special about the Commons? I'd go there at night when no one was there. There was a quiet, calming atmosphere. When there wasn't anyone, sitting at benches looking at the sunset reflecting in the pond, it just felt like home. The night before we left for college, my friends and I went to the Commons. We stayed up until 4 a.m. talking about what would we be like in college, and we all promised to keep in touch with each other after. But then everything happened, and I haven't talked to any of them in so long. I feel like they have all moved on with their lives. It's never too late to reach out. They probably wonder where you are. Yeah, but I kind of ghosted them when I took my quarter off. I ghosted everyone. I'm sure they'd understand if you explained. But it wasn't like we naturally drifted apart. Yeah, but you never know if one day you can't say sorry. I was listening to this news story about this phone booth in Japan that doesn't work. A lot of Japanese people died in the 2011 earthquake, and people started going to this phone booth to talk to the dead. Anyway, someone put a microphone in there with permission, and NPR did this whole piece about the phone booth. I don't like to think about grief like that. I was listening to the recordings, and it was painful to hear, even as a bystander. But after that, I realized it's never too late to reconnect. The fragility of human life is terrifying. I guess you're right. I keep thinking I'll do it, but then I put it off. There was this one recording of a guy talking to his mom. I started thinking about what'll eventually happen one day, and we'll all have all these years where we didn't see each other. You need to give yourself the chance to be forgiven. Doesn't that mean I have to forgive myself first? I don't know. I see. I don't know. These are. I'm gonna get the candy. What's that? It's a Chinese milk candy. My parents used to buy it for my friends and me to eat when I was younger. A rabbit is on the package of each piece. I've never seen you eat one. Maybe it's time to change that. Let's be positive. I'm down to try one. I haven't had one for years because of my mom. There's so many things I disregard because they remind me of her, but I don't want my relationship with her to change things I love. Okay, so that was a false decision I made. Cool. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to mourn someone who isn't in your life anymore. So is mom dead, or is she just not in life anymore? You make her sound like she's dead. Alright, she's not dead. You know, there was this one time our Chinese school teacher was sick, so my mom was our substitute. Everyone loved her. She tells stories during class, and she made learning Chinese entertaining. I was so proud. Everyone told me they wanted my mom back. Why do you think she changed so much? That's a complex question I'm still trying to figure out the answer to. Honestly, it's probably best that you don't know. Not to be harsh, but I don't think that the answer's pretty. What happened to your dad? Dads are really important in families. Just saying. No, I wouldn't change anything. She's probably going through her own issues or something. God has favorites, and I'm definitely not one of them. I don't believe that, but okay. I don't think that's how religion works. I agree with Miles. To be fair, none of us know God, if he's even out there. I think every religious person would disagree with you. Yeah? Look, God, hear me out. You're really addressing God right now. I'm gonna thank God. I think that's... I know we have our differences, but I gotta say, you gave me a pretty hot boyfriend. You did give me really shitty parents and a questionable fashion sense, but you did really well in the whole love life department. June. He can be kind of annoying sometimes, but God, please don't listen to her. And with that, I gotta say, amen. Amen to that. It can be hard. I see a camera. I was thinking, what if pictures could do more than just show you how something looked? Let's say you took a picture of a landscape. You could also smell the fresh air there. You could feel the ground. You could basically feel like you were there. This is so pretty. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. I feel like that's a recipe for disaster. That's just bigger incentive for me not to leave my house. You're not wrong. You could use it that way. You could be on a call with your friend, look at a picture of Paris, all while being in your PJs. Photojournalism would be on a whole new level. We're talking some Harry Potter level stuff here, too. People who are in long-distance relationships would love this. Do you think you could do one? Me personally, probably not. I'd be too scared, plus my personal brand is self-deprecation, and I need to continue that pessimism even in my relationships. Oh boy. That is not your personal brand. I honestly just don't know if I have the endurance of being in a long relationship without freaking out. I could see that. I think I could. I would have to have a date to look forward to that I would see my partner. So like, a defined long relationship. Like, okay, we're only gonna be long distance for like 2 years, and then after that, we'll be okay. You know, about your camera idea, I think it'd be interesting if we could do that with pictures of ourselves at different points of our lives. We could see how far we've come. Your therapist would love that. There are times when I'm sad, where just a reminder that I once was happy is enough. Where just a reminder that I was once happy is enough. Your therapist would love that. She would, but I'm not sure I would. Why not? You're so much happier than you used to be. Yeah, but before that period, I was also happier. So it would be like this disappointment that I let myself get so sad, but then some joy from seeing my improvement. That's the ebb and flow of life. Then I wish life would stop ebbing so much. If we could put a barrier to be like, I'm only allowed to be this disappointed in myself, then that would be great. You have nothing to be seriously disappointed about in yourself for. Oh, trust me, there's some deep-rooted regret within myself. Relatable. Do you think that's why we're dating? Because we both deal with things way beyond our mental capacity? Yeah, probably. kind of sad to think about. Ooh, I want to go to Triangle Boy over here. No, come this way. I want to go to Triangle Boy. Give me a Dorito. Oh. I just want a Dorito. Oh, it's a kite. Never mind. Oh, it's a tea bag. I see a tea bag. Why's that? Asian people make tea by putting the leaves alone. Growing up, I didn't even know that tea bags existed. My Lao Lao never gave me white people tea. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Is Lao Lao Chinese for grandmother? Yeah, we'd used to drink tea on the weekends as she gossiped about the Chinese boys in our carpool group. Accurate. Aw, that's cute. She was friends with the other Asian grandmas in my area, so she'd tell me the insider tea about their lives. Get out, just leave. I know, I'm hilarious. You are. Uh-huh. She always got along because she was so accepting, even though she grew up in rural China. She told me she thought you were handsome when we met. I'm glad I have her stamp of approval. The fact that she likes you even though you aren't Chinese is big. Is that supposed to be an accomplishment? She grew up being taught traditional Chinese ideals, meaning you're expected to adhere to social order. Maybe the changing generations shifted her perspective. She's really accepting of the newer generation. She actually vocalizes how she's feeling. What? What I mean is that Chinese people never express their feelings or love directly. It's always like, your mom is thinking of you because she brings you sliced fruit to your room. But my grandma does that and also says it to me. What does that even mean? Like when I'm studying, my grandma will drop off apples to my room so I have a snack. That's I love you in Asian terms. They should change the definition of love in the Chinese dictionary so it means bringing produce to your door. That's really cute. They bring you fruit for while you're studying. But, there's different ways to express love, and I don't know. That's so sweet. What does she think of your mom? She pretends our distance doesn't exist. If we're talking the 5 stages of grief, my grandma's a mixture of denial and bargaining. It feels like your grandma raised you, but I could be wrong about that. Well, the very foundation of her family has been ruined, so it makes sense. When you talk to someone who's fighting with their parents, you usually give the advice of talking things over at least eventually. I was talking to Reese and he said, you need to cut your losses and move on. That's how I know I gotta reach acceptance. Do you think that's even possible in your situation? Then what's the alternative? Lamenting my family until I'm paralyzed? Hope. I have to hold on to hope. That's all I've got, really. I'm sorry that's been your experience. Booted? Nope. I don't know what that says, and I'm not gonna try to read it. Come on. I don't want to speak of the events of Joshua Tree. I swear it wasn't that bad. Look, I don't think that seeing your girlfriend cry needs to happen after a certain number of dates, but I feel like our third one was definitely too early. I blame you. You're the one who said Lady Bird was your favorite film. You're the one who brought it. I'm just saying, Joshua Tree cannot be a constellation. You're the one who brought it. I didn't realize it was going to make you cry. Well, you suggested 2 movies, either Lady Bird or that random bird or that random sci-fi film. How is Star Wars a random sci-fi film? Anyway, I wasn't particularly in the mood, but I also didn't want to sound unappreciative and reject your thoughtfulness, so we watched it. If you said something, I wouldn't have been offended. I was pretty touched that I mentioned liking Lady Bird and you remembered to brain it. I didn't want to be exposed for never seeing Star Wars. Appreciative. I thought it was sweet that you were comfortable enough around me to cry. My sorrow was not sweet. I don't think that crying is embarrassing. I don't either, but I had shared my life trauma with you before you knew my last name. Not to mention you were stone cold in the entire film. In your defense, the movie is about the relationship between the main character and her mom, and it was sort of related to your life. I should have pretended to watch the movie, but actually stayed off into the distance to prevent the waterworks. That's absurd. We were at Joshua Tree. Why would you bring a movie there of all places? I figured maybe we'd have some downtime if we were tired of hiking. Board games sound really great. I don't know any. We could fill the free time with our amazing conversation. Jim, I'm just saying that I will never live this down. On my deathbed, I will look back on my life and be like, oh, remember that time you cried? Not just a single tear or two, but sobbed on your third date with Miles? I will remember. I think that's a bit dramatic. It is dramatic. What's dramatic is sobbing during a movie where you're trying to impress the guy. My cool girl disguise was gone by the 15-minute mark. The movie wasn't even sad at 15 minutes. Exactly. You see yourself in the movie, that's an emotional thing. My whole thought process with that movie is absurd. Then what is it? The reason I cried so much at Lady Bird isn't just that I see so much of my mom and her mom, it's because they're able to reconcile with the animal I'm not able to. Aw, June, that's a perfectly valid reason to cry. All of these books and movies where if you just wait around long enough, they'll come by. But this is my real life, one that can't be wrapped in a nice, succinct ending. There's this moment when Lady Bird goes, I wish that you liked me. Mom replies, of course I love you. And then she's like, but do you like me? And honest to God, I don't know whether I would ask the question with like or love, because I don't think I'm ready to hear the answer to either. June, you shouldn't be ashamed of any of that. You know, at my high school graduation, my mom got mad at me for wanting to take pictures with my friends. She was grumpy the entire night, yelled at all of us during dinner, and then straight up refused to speak to me. And it was like, I know high school graduation is stupid and meaningless, but it's like, I just wanted to have one day where I could feel like a normal kid with normal parents. And you know how Lady Bird ends, wanting your parents to be proud of you as human. There was this one time I went to my friend Cindy's house. Her sister let me borrow her clothes, and they helped to do my makeup. Her parents saw us dressing up and ordered us sandwiches, and we all watched a movie together. They were like, we do this every Friday, and it was like, why can't my family do something this simple without screaming at each other's throats? Why can't they let me pretend that everything's okay? I'm never going to understand the nuances between you and your mom, but feeling frustrated over your relationship with her is normal. I don't know anyone who wouldn't be frustrated. I guess I just wanted to have something completely separate from my mom, where I didn't have to talk about her because I know it confuses people, and I didn't want to deal with feeling misunderstood by more people. Oh, June, I'm sorry you're going through this. Thanks for listening. Always. I'm sorry. Sorry, I got into the drama in there a little bit during reading the lines. That's not my relationship. This isn't even close to my relationship with my family, but, you know. I see a peach. Why a peach? I always ate them growing up. When I was younger, my mom and I used to go on walks in our neighborhood. She'd steal peaches off the neighbor's tree. It's a Chinese family thing. I feel like we all grew up watching our parents steal fruit. Isn't that illegal? My mom was not intimidated by the law. I've never heard of that. Trust me, it's a thing. When I went to my Asian friend's house, their parents would offer me stolen fruit as a peace offering. Then they would ask me what I'm studying, if I have a boyfriend, and whether I have post-grad plans. So the whole do you have a boyfriend-girlfriend thing is universal. Yep. I think all parents secretly worry that their kid isn't going to find someone. Whenever someone asks me that, I'm like, I'm already worried enough about my eternal singledom. I'm gonna try to play that. When I told my mom that I was dating you, she was so relieved. Really? What did she say? She asked me how old you are, what you looked like. Did you show her a picture? Yeah. What did she say? She said you were pretty. Good, Mom. I'm assuming it's the same for Asian families. The sentiment is the same, but the questions are different. I'm gonna go with that one. If you were to tell any Asian mother you were dating someone, the first question would be, what's his major, how rich his family is, and how rich he is. I can't take that kind of pressure. The first time my high school boyfriend came over for dinner, she'd ask us in Chinese. He was Chinese, every detail about his family and what he wants to be when he grows up. He was okay with it. The week before, I went to his house and his mom did the same thing to me. I'd still be terrified. Oh, I missed a line there. There's so many specific parts of Asian American culture that we just automatically understand, like the whole fruit thing and dating. I was talking to Rebecca the other day about growing up as an Asian kid, and she was like, I was so embarrassed of what our food smelled like at lunch. I realized that was also me. People made fun of me because they said it smelled weird. I guess I never realized that other Asian kids went through the same thing. It's because of the fish. Because I'll be honest, I went through something similar when I was growing up. I was like, Mom, can we not go to food with tuna anymore? Because it smells weird and I don't like it. And you all relate on this? Yeah, it's just like being bullied about lunch is universally Asian. I never even noticed that people made digs, I can read, I promise, at Asian people for that. Yeah, people make math and rice jokes, but I didn't realize that it wasn't as intense as that. None of it was overt, I hate Asian people, but it was these subtle comments that slowly chipped away at my identity. Those didn't particularly help either. I suck at math and people always told me I was less Asian because of that. I'm gonna go with that one. I never understood that. Yeah, I study so hard for my math classes, but I still don't do well on the tests. June, I'm messing with you. In that case, you better ace your next exam. Ooh, it's another circle toy. Is it a diamond? Oh, I see a sunrise. That would be a perfect constellation. It's specifically the sunrise on our second date. Really? Yeah, that's really wholesome. That date changed what I had thought previously about love and relationships. I never thought I'd find someone who got me instantly. That was legit me before I met you. To think that something so inherent as loving is something we didn't believe in. That was legit me before I met you. Men who have the personality of a wet piece of bread do not tout their ability to find a partner. But here I was wondering for days on end if I would ever get a boyfriend. I don't know if you remember, but we were taking turns making assumptions by each other. And you were like, a lot of people may not notice it, but you're actually quite thoughtful. I didn't think that anyone noticed the effort I put in. You remember things I said months ago when you hear a good song? You tell me, it reminds me of me. Of course I think you're thoughtful. When you said that, it wasn't just a nice comment. I felt like I was seen. I didn't want to just see you, I wanted to see you as you are. I never really thought people cared enough to try. I barely made any friends my first year of college, and I basically lost over the next semester when I took time off of school for my depression. I was stuck in my hometown, and all of my high school friends were somewhere else for college, which basically just made it worse. It must have been difficult. You're taking care of yourself, which is the best thing you could have done. I bet they didn't know what to say once they realized you changed. So when I met you and you kept talking to me, even though I was pretty awkward, I felt like I finally had someone. I didn't realize I had that impact in your life. I've tried to fit in a lot. I joined the school newspaper, I tried to talk to people in class, but I never felt like I belonged. They all just tolerated me, but you made an effort to see me for who I am. I kind of just had this thing. It's called a crush on you. Well, you came into my life right when I needed it the most. It's funny you say that because I felt like meeting you was the universe's way of being like, here's something for your way for the stuff we put you through. When we first met, I figured you found me annoying. I was way more preoccupied by thinking I was annoying you. We should have just been honest with each other. I was too much of a wuss with you to be honest. We all have our wuss moments. Sorry, I'll clarify. Many factors, including your wussness, contributed to your lack of communication. You're going to comfort me by saying you're a wuss too? Wuss in solidarity. Okay. I'll be honest, I thought this would be a sunrise, but I think it's going to be something different. The mountain. I like that one. Oh, it's so pretty. This one's kind of strange. Actually, hang on. I'll take a better picture. There we go. Now I get. Ooh, it's so good. Alright. Anyway. Yeah, you're actually the first person I've brought there. That night solidified that I wanted to be with you. Why was I the first? Why was I the first? It always felt like my spot. I didn't want anyone to come and ruin it for me. What was different with me? I wanted you to see what was important to me, and I finally felt ready to invite someone there, regardless of what happens between us. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too. I always thought that I was doomed, and there was nothing I could do about it. Things like romance, being desired, being listened to, I didn't think those were for me. Why? Whenever I see cool girls who have their stuff together, who have this effortless glow, I see them as versions of myself I could never be. So if I were a guy, why would I take me over them? Guys feel that way too. I never know what to say around girls. I'm the least intimidating person I know. Me too. Because you're too scared to talk to girls. Girls are gorgeous and smart and talented. That's terrifying. You don't sound scared when you're talking to them, and you never seem scared talking to me. I definitely was. I've gone out with so many flaming garbage cans that the prospect of dating someone decent is also terrifying. But you present yourself the way you are. I think about what other people view me. Anyone who claims they're truly above the opinions of others is a straight up liar. I think this is going to be a book. Yep. I see my journal because it was the only thing that brought me comfort when I took time off school, and I think it deserves its own constellation. You don't strike me as a journal person. Dude, I'm a huge journal person. I used to journal every single day. Sorry, just taking a pause to stretch for a second. My therapist makes me write in one. If it's that important to you, then I think it deserves a constellation too. It's been almost a year since I took a semester off. I've been thinking a lot about that time in my life. What have you noticed? I realized how much better my life would be if I hadn't been depressed those 2 years. You only took a semester off though. My lost time doesn't include when I took time off school. It was the entire duration of my depression. Yeah, that makes sense. I realized how much better I would be now if I spent those 2 years I wasn't at college productively. I wasn't the type of person that anyone wanted to be friends with. I had all of these goals that I put on hold. That I'm finally getting better. I could have done so much more. You can't control that you had depression, so it isn't your fault. Right, but no one told me that I could never make friends or make progress on my dreams. I did it to myself. Obviously not intentionally, but still happened. You're doing great things now, though. You're back at school, you have me, and so many other people. Yeah, but if I didn't waste those 2 years, my life could be better. So much better. I think the important part is that you picked yourself up. People spend decades confused. You know exactly what you want in life, which is already more than most people our age. I've always known execution has been the difficult part. Knowing is difficult in and of itself. I wanted to be seen for my accomplishments. That validation would have made me happy, but I had to stop being depressed and do something first. I like both of these answers. I'm gonna go with the second one. But I knew that it was the reason people didn't want to be my friend. I carried the negative emotions with me everywhere. It was difficult to be around. Earlier this year, I ran into a guy I met at our college newspaper. We talked in the semester before I dropped everything. When he saw me again this year, he was like, "I'm so glad that you're in a good place in your life now, because back then, you were terrible to be around." He didn't have to say that, but the reason it really affected me was that he was completely right. I tried to make friends and it never panned out because I wasn't likable. I couldn't help that I was depressed. I know, but he shouldn't have said that. You never know what other people are going through. Everyone knew and loved him. He was where I wanted to be. Just because people like him doesn't mean he said the right thing. I saw all these people who were smart and sociable, and I wanted to be more than anything. I didn't care if they were boring. They were happy, and that was everything to me. I guess. I don't know. I've learned that now, but after so many years of being left out, it's hard to drop the mindset. The painful parts of myself, the toxic thinking, the insecurity, the mental illness seem so big that people never wanted to be with me. But mental illness isn't who you are. You are an amazing artist. You're a good boyfriend. You see people for who they are. I recently met this guy in my class. I realized that we did the same type of art, so I looked him up. I saw his profile and realized that he was the real deal. While I was back home, he was refining his style. He could do that. You could do that. You're already off to the right start. I don't know that, though, if I could ever reach that level. I don't know if my best will ever be enough, and now I have all of this lost time. You need that time to be where you are now. If you never went through the self-reflection or took time off school, you'd still be where you were a year ago. I guess I'm frustrated that I'm not someone else then. I'm gonna go with the first one. I don't want to lose you. I don't know who I'd be if we hadn't met. Really? Well, I do know, and I'd be worse. I feel safe telling you these things because I know you'll understand me. I could be the best version of myself starting from now, and I still don't know if that's enough. For that to happen, I need to advocate for myself the way you do. If anything, I need your patience. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? We should combine ourselves to form the perfect person, learn from each other. Okay. Oh, this is awkward. I would love if I could talk to people more. We would make a great person. Agreed. Is this a lollipop or a balloon? Or none? It could be chocolate. It's a lamp. I don't know what that says. When I was about to go off to college, I'd lie under the streetlights with my friends, and we talk about life. I spent my whole life wanting to see more city, more people outside my bubble, but once I left, I realized that there was actually so much life already in my hometown, as suburban as it is. You always call it boring. That's the point, really. You can't go out, so you lie under the streetlights and talk about life and why you're scared of the future and all that. I'm scared of the deep ocean. This is talking about vulnerability, so I would like to think a great scholar said that. Who would this great scholar be? Me, I said this. Well, scholar or not, I think you're right. A lot of my secrets were shared under a streetlight at night. The stars hold all of our secrets. That's pretty intimidating. The amount of times I've shared my secrets because it was late at night and I was in my feels is embarrassing. Then the next morning, I'm like, mistakes were made. I feel that, dude. I know the feeling. There was this one time I liked this guy and we were messaging late at night. I just started sharing my entire life story because I was like, he's going to get all of my life trauma and fall in love with me. But then he ended up ghosting me. Yikes. You share your life story at all times of the day? Yeah, but I think because I was exhausted, I convinced myself that we were soulmates because he was destined to like me. That's a lot of hope to have. Yeah, but I hold out on things that aren't meant to be. Duly noted. prove the part, but I never do. You always talk about how little you believe in things, but you really are one of the most secretly hopeful people ever. You took a chance on our relationship when any average cynical person wouldn't. I did think about what I was doing for 10 hours a day. Yeah, but it's the action that really counts and what affects your life. That's what you should hold on to. I believe this is the last one. I see a paper lantern. This is really pretty too. I want to take a picture of this. Oh, it's so pretty. Whoever did the art for this, I did just see you flash your names at the beginning, but I already forgot because I didn't really read them. I'm sorry, that's really bad to admit. But you did a really good job on all of these scenes. They're very well drawn. Like the ones in Chinatown. I used to go to the Lantern Festival there every year. When I was still in Chinese school, they make us do dances. One year I was a lily pad. That's so cute! Oh, that's adorable. You did so many things as a kid. I don't like the second option. I've never heard you talk about the Lantern Festival before. That's because I stopped going. Too old now? My mom still goes, and it'd be weird if she saw me. My friends still go, though. Your friends know what's going on with your mom, right? Yeah, I do. I used to be so mad at my mom, and I thought it was typical Asian parenting. At the time, I didn't see all of the special parts about being Chinese. Like what? Seeing a Chinese person at a party and immediately feeling at ease. It's the unspoken bond of being someone, sharing no words, but understanding their upbringing entirely. I've never had that feeling before. There was this one time in 6th grade where I was at a sleepover with the girls. We all started doing this one girl's makeup, and she looked gorgeous. Everyone called her beautiful. But then it came to doing my makeup. They made me into a literal raccoon. It wasn't on purpose, but Asian eye shapes aren't the traditional Western beauty standard, so no one understood how to do my makeup. That doesn't mean it's impossible. We have YouTube these days. Just look up, how to do it. I would have put in effort. I would have put in more effort and been like, hey, let's make you actually look good. So while my friend was complimented by everyone in the group, I was a clown. I'm sure they were trying their best. They were, but whenever I tell this story, my Chinese friends all know exactly what I'm talking about with my eye shape and the whole feeling ugly because you're Asian. Everyone else thinks it's a story about me being an insecure kid, but no, it's me being an insecure kid because I'm Asian. I'm sorry that's your experience. I don't know why anyone would think Asian people are ugly. Growing up, a lot of that has faded, but I remember being young and having this guy confide in me that he liked my friend being like, she's pretty for an Asian. That's so rude. Why would you say that? Just say she's pretty. You don't have to add the other part. I truly don't understand why anyone would voice that opinion, especially to you. I hated being Asian as a kid, and all of the best parts of my cultural identity are no longer there because my parents and I don't talk. Ah, so your dad is somewhere around, maybe? I don't know, Jim. The way you describe your Asianness, the market stealing fruit, it really sounds like you haven't let go. I remember these things, but they're no longer a part of my life. It sounds like you carry them with you, I guess. No, really, if you asked me to describe the American experience, I'd say something general like our crazy political climate, but you describe these parts of your life with so much detail. I guess that is interesting about how, because of different cultures in America, we each carry different experiences. Like, growing up, my mom's Canadian, so we would make sometimes, not every year, but sometimes we'd celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving, which is in October when harvest is, versus American Thanksgiving's in November. So we'd basically have 2 Thanksgivings, and it was really cool. And then sometimes we'd also make pierogies for Christmas because that was like a Polish thing, and yeah, it was fun. My grandma would come over and we'd do that. So, I don't know. For Christmas this year, we made potato ollies because there's no Taco John's where I live, but there are in the Midwest, and that's where my dad grew up. I don't know, I think it's fun to kind of be an amalgamation sometimes of different experiences. And it's fun to hear about people's different experiences and be like, oh, tell me more. way they write Miles is it just feels like he has no experiences to share sometimes. Like he explains, oh yeah, I grew up in suburbia with very little to do, but I bet he has some family traditions or things that to bring to the table of this conversation as well. But maybe he's meant to be like generic visual novel boyfriend protagonist. I could be wrong though. Anyway, continuing on. I just don't know if the Asian community accepts me. Why wouldn't they? It doesn't help that my family is the black sheep of the Asian community. They should understand that it's not your fault. You know how you see your parents this one way when you're a kid, but then you grow up and you have this big realization, my parents are actually regular people? I went through that, but I realized my mom isn't even that. You had me in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. Your mom is human, but your realization is more sad than humbling. I don't think my mom is this evil person. I think she's someone who can't control her temper to the point where I can't have a relationship with her. I mean, I think any relationship can be repaired. I just think your mom might need therapy or counseling or whatever she's more comfortable with, but I know not everyone, especially like parents or like older people, are comfortable with that idea. So, I don't know. You can't control who your parents are. Some people let that bad luck define them. My mom hasn't contacted me once since our big fight. I'm never going to pretend like I know what you've been through, but you've had a rough couple of years. The fact that you still have the capacity to empathize with people, to give people your all, it's a testament that you're a good person. I was at my friend's house for her birthday. While we were gone, her parents decorated the entire house and cooked us food. We got back and everyone had dinner with them. My friend deserves all of those things, but the whole situation felt more like fantasy than what normal parents are like to me. Her mom asked about my parents, and it's like, what am I supposed to say? I don't speak to my parents? Actually, they're still alive? You could put it at, we live separate lives now. Yeah, but then I'm the one bringing down the mood. I'm the one ruining the group dynamic because I have issues. Just say you don't live with them anymore. That's not your fault, though. I want to go where no one knows my name, where I don't have to think about the person I'm supposed to be. It doesn't matter how much you run, it'll catch up to you eventually. Is there more? Hey, June. Yes, Miles. I really hope you know how amazing, resilient, and special you are. No matter what my current situation is, I hope you know you can always talk to me. I'll always be there for you. Miles shifts his body, leaned towards mine. Her face is so close I could hear his breath. You're my person. I used to dream about what being in a relationship was like. I had all these fantasies about guys throwing rocks at my window and making me playlists to fall asleep to. But what has happened between us is even greater than anything I could have imagined. No matter what's happened in my life, having you here has made it all worth it. You're worth it all. You are the brightest person in any room. Remember that one time you walked me home after the Father John Misty concert? Never heard that band before? Yeah. You told me you wish your past self could see you now. I remember. I wish my past self could see me now. Stars shoot across the sky. Oh, it's so pretty. Did you see that? I've never seen a shooting star before. Sorry, there was a little bit of lag there. Then you should make a wish. I did. What did you wish for? I don't think I'm supposed to tell you. I don't like this rule about wishes. You'll know what it was soon enough. Really? Let me tell you about this. Let me tell you this. What I wished for just came true. Just now? I wished that I would fall in love this summer, and I did. I love you. I love you too. Not just that, I love how you are unapologetically yourself no matter what. I love how you dance when no music is playing. I love how you get excited over the smallest thing, like seeing your favorite food at the grocery store. I love that you have the worst luck when it comes to dating, but you still took a chance on me. I love the way you said yes to all of my weird ideas. I love that you get more beautiful and determined each day I know you. I love that I get to witness your growth. Please tell me you rehearsed that because it was way too smooth otherwise. I did give myself a good pep talk in the mirror before tonight. Thanks for playing! Thank you for making this game, developers. This was really fun. It's a really cool... I like complex characters. And I think June is a complex character. And I think her mom is a very complex character. But I like that you were able to bring topics to light that probably a lot of games don't have the space or the... I'm going to actually use the word space. I'm going to keep that word. The space to talk about. Which is ironic considering the title is called The Space in Between. It really ties in with the mechanics and the storyline. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!